What's up, guys? It's Brent McCaskill, also known as Pig of the Hut. I'm back from E3 and I have tons of new information regarding Injustice 2. Let's talk about it and let's get right to it. Now, I'm going to be straight to the point. I don't want to give you guys a lot of flabber and a lot of extra fat to think about. I'm just going to go right for the meat in this video. So, while looking at some footage, let's talk about the game. What I found after playing this game for about 4 or 5 days at E3, multiple hours, is this. The movement is far better. And I mean far better. The startup on walk speeds are far greater than that in Injustice 1. The button map, 1, 2, 3, 4, chain stance, interactable button, the meter burn button, nothing has changed. Back 3 meter burns, they're in. Forward 3 meter burns, they're in. You still can't clash forward 3 combos and back 3 combos. But some things have changed that actually helps the game for the better. The character models are way bigger. The camera is actually zoomed in even tighter on the action. A lot of people complained about this stuff. The movement is the #1 complaint from Injustice 1. The second complaint from Injustice 1 was how far the camera was out and make the characters look like tiny little ants, especially Batman from Injustice 1. For months and months, I self-admittedly could not tell what strings Batman was doing on me and how they differentiated because the character was so stupid small. But in this game, it's way different. Now, some things that have changed, as you guys have heard, the legacy curve. Well, it's a little bit there. It's going to be interesting to see how it develops, but I'm here to tell you what's in so far and what's not. Back 1, 2 from the deep cannot be comboed after the from the deep anymore. You have to spend a bar a meter if you want to continue your combo. Other stuff has basically remained the same. Batman strings, Aquaman strings, Superman strings, with little changes that makes them not such OP, such as the forward 2-3 with Superman. Forward 2 is now a high. Yes, Superman players, your OTGs are still in. Yes, Batman players, your meter burn grapple currently is still in. Now keep in mind, this is not even a beta version of the game. This is an alpha version of the game. Could be even pre-alpha. If you think back in Injustice 1 days, we didn't know diddly squat about that game until about a month or two before 2 months before the release date. We're talking maybe past a year or over a year that we have to wait for Injustice 2, and we know far more than we've ever known for any NRS game, which is a good sign, let me go ahead and tell you, because the game is further in development and they have that much more time to, complete the minute details of the game. Next thing I want to talk about, there are interactables in this game, but this time they are completely blockable. Other things I want to point out is the clash system is the same. You can still fake bet a clash by double tapping the triggers. You can do down to block. You don't have to do the Street Fighter back and down to block. Down to block is still currently in the game. As far as wake-up system goes, it seemed like some of the wake-ups were invincible. Backdashes definitely were invincible, but some wake-ups were basically too slow to even, it didn't matter if it had invincibility. Currently, the AA game seems very strong. The jumps, if you note, are pretty floaty, and the down twos were connecting pretty flawlessly, minus Atrocitus, which I feel like he's just kind of a barely complete character currently. So I wouldn't look too much into his down two currently, but the down two games for each of the other characters seem extremely strong. Now, something else I noticed about this game, a lot of people are going to ask me about, Pig, do you think this game is very 50-50 based? Very offense rushdown based, kind of how Mortal Kombat X currently is. Well, I went through every single character and I noticed something. A lot of characters have a fast starting overhead or low, such as back 1 with Aquaman, but he has like a 36 frame overhead back 2, which is reactable. And then I noticed new characters like Supergirl had lows and overheads in the middle of her strings currently. Now keep in mind, this is pre-alpha. So all this could change, but currently it's a good sign going forward because Mortal Kombat X's beta, every button was overhead, every button was a low, every button was a reset. So kind of seeing where the game is currently now compared to where MKX was in the alpha beta stages, we're in good shape if you do not want that brain dead 50-50 stuff in the game. This is I think this game is actually more neutral heavy It's more fundamental heavy. You'll see Sonic Fox's tweets, Perfect Legend, Scar's tweets. They reiterate the same thing. So it's good to see I'm not the only one who gets that impression from this game. Now, no, a lot of people are interested in the gear system. A lot of the gear system stuff has been yet to be fleshed out, which is why they're not talking that much about it. Sure, they know where they're going with it, but it's not completely fleshed out yet, so why, talk about it? Because they might make some changes. But I will say this, the gear system is confirmed to be basically like Diablo.
Diablo calls me.
Shut up, Tom. It's basically like Diablo in the sense that, if you win a match and you get extra health, dexterity, speed, extra strength, extra power on like a helmet, a shoe piece, an armor piece, and they don't know how that's going to play in the online game. They sure as heck don't want it to be affecting the tournament pro level players. So there might be something to where there's just like a balance mode or a tournament mode that turns that stuff off. I also want to point something else. You guys are going shit ass crazy about the placeholders. Guys, please stop. Those are placeholders. Those are freaking character select screen placeholders. No, a big freaking panda bear is not going to be in the game. It actually looks like Arthur Moy wearing his hat from NetherRealm Studios, which actually could be a pretty awesome troll. So unless you think Arthur Moy's in the game, I would ignore the freaking placeholders. Stop making threads about it. Stop tweeting about it. They're freaking placeholders. It's a troll. Let it go. Now I am excited to report something else that people haven't really talked about or pointed out. Yes, you're going to get probably a white Superman. You'll probably get a black Superman, a gold Superman, a green Superman, a blue Superman. You're going to be able to change the color palettes of your character. Now, I hope that is kept for tournament play, online play, rank play, because I think that's super cool that we can actually customize our character on our designs and the palettes that we choose without affecting the health or gaining extra special moves like the gear systems may do. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this new mechanic about the meter burn dash. I'm going to give you a prime example. I was playing Maximilian, and he was Supergirl, and I was Atrocitus. I was full screen away. I saw him trade up, and he went to shoot a laser, a ground laser, to zone me, keep me out. That's cool. But I just said, I wonder if I can meter burn dash and maybe pressure him. Let me tell you what happened. I saw the laser coming out of her eyes, and I meter burn dashed, and it went through the laser, and I punished him. Not with the fastest startup move either. I punished him. So what I'm getting at is meter burn dash, I want to tell you guys currently is extremely powerful. You can go one end of the screen to the next end of the screen. He was full screen away from me, and I punished him. Now, again, pre-alpha, it'll probably change. The distance might change. Currently, it is fully invincible. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the air tech. I want to explain what the meta of air teching is going to be. Let's pretend in just this one combo, I don't know, I do 4, 2, 3 on hit with Superman, and I meter burn back 3 cancel. So I do 4, 2, this would never happen, but I do 4, 2, 3, back meter burn. So, it's 4, 2, 3, and I launch him full screen, the wall bounce. As I'm going towards the wall, or coming back to Superman for him to finish the combo, at any point on the way or on the way back, I can air tech out spinning a bar. Really, really help me here. Think about this. So I can choose to tech out at full screen, and when you tech out, you do land and there's recovery frames, and there's a matter of where you're not safe. As you're coming back, think about this. Think about if he's going to do a jump-in combo. What if you knew the range that he had to do the jump-in to continue the combo, and you air-teched out of it? So he whiffs a jump 2, and you spin a bar to get out of the combo, and you trip guard him. Now that's what the meta is going to be, I think, currently in the game, if it stays that way. Me personally, I think there should be a limited window in which you should be able to air tech out of. I don't like the idea of you losing, you getting hit, and saying, I have all the options in the world when I choose when I want to spin a bar to get out. Now, think about this. Let's just pretend, let's take Atrocitus, for example. He does a 2-hit string into a low puddle like D'Vorah. He has like a low puddle like D'Vorah has. So he has to meter burn it to combo. So let's say he does a 2-hit string, he does the low puddle and meter burns it back 3. At this point, he's probably taken off about 18 to 20% of your health. As he back threes you and you're flying towards the wall, you can tech out. So you just spent a bar not to let him finish the combo. You just spent a bar, you said, you know what, bro, I'm gonna end up over here full screen. You take your 18 to 20% damage, I'm gonna end up full screen away from you because I do not wanna be where close to Atrocitus, any near your ground game, your back two range. So you spend a bar, take 18, 20%, and rather than taking 50 or 45% on his 2-bar B&B, whereas Atrocitus just spent a bar and he's like, yo, I just spent a bar for 18 to 20%, that kind of sucks. So that's kind of where the meta is gonna be. This game, meter management is number one. I think meter management, because of the air teching and the meter burn dash, is pivotal, and that's an understatement. Now, I want to backtrack a little bit and talk about some other things I've noticed that have changed with the legacy characters. For the record, I love that NRS is trying a legacy, half legacy type game while introducing more characters. Now, for those of you who didn't count yet, there's 28 spots on the character select screen. And Ed Boon hinted that there could be around 8 to 10 DLC characters. So we're talking about a 38 character game. The legacy characters that will return, we don't know the full list of, but the ones that are returning, you know, day one mains are going to feel very much at home. This game feels like Injustice 1. If you played Injustice 1, you sit down with the 30 minutes or an hour of this game, you're going to feel right at home. Now, other things that I've noticed is Batman's back three is no longer that OP back three with that much range back in Injustice 1. It's now a short range punch. So in this game, they definitely focus with the legacy characters to take out the OP elements. Like I mentioned before, Superman's forward 2 is currently a high. That changes the meta greatly. It doesn't make it such a broken move now as it was when day one Injustice 1 came out. Like I said with Aquaman, back 1-2 from the deep, you can no longer do another back 1-2 after that. You have to meter burn it. Now, again, I'm gonna say this over and over and over. This is pre-alpha, guys. Alpha, pre-alpha, it's not even beta, okay? The game's not coming out tomorrow. But from the deep, meter burn, Triton Rush, and regular Triton Rush felt hella punishable. That sounds awesome. I hope it stays that way. Some other things I want to talk about is Batman's Jump 2 did not seem as OP as it did in Injustice 1. He had a much higher jump arc in Injustice 1. In this game, the jump arcs are definitely floaty, and his especially seemed a little lower, which was interesting. That actually might mess up his meter burn reset with the jump into after the meter burn grapple that he had in Injustice 1. All that, remains to be seen. So what's rumored to happen with the meter burn dash animations is they become character unique or archetype unique. Depends on if they have enough time. So you might have 38 different animations, just like there's different animations for each character's backdash and forward dash. So they could be completely unique. Like if you had a telekinesis character, he might be where he is here and he disappears and reappears here. Or Batman throws a grapple behind him and so forth. You get what I'm saying. So let's get down to some questions that truly remain. How will the gear system truly play out in tournament competition? That's one question. Question 2, will this game truly not be as 50-50 and be, as it is in the current alpha state of the game, more neutral based and more pressure and more fundamental based? Not so much the 50-50 coin flipping that Mortal Kombat X is. Another question is, there's a lot of rumors going on, even in the room that we were playing, that during the supers, those awesome ass super moves, that you could press different combinations at different points of the super's animations and cinematics that makes a 32% super become 44% super by, I don't know, people were kind of hitting, I was trying to listen to people talk about it, don't want to say too much, but it seems like that might be in the game, so that might be an Easter egg to look for down the road. Kind of how they had Toasty boosts or bonuses in Mortal Kombat 9, so it could be interesting to find in the game. So some other questions I was getting on the forums and stuff is, they're like, Pick, can you just describe what the traits do for each character? Well, Superman, Aquaman, and Batman are basically the same. Aquaman, in fact, his doesn't last near as long as it did in the original game. It basically lasts about 1.5 seconds. I was timing it. It takes much larger to recharge. Superman with his trait is still breaking armor. It's basically the same thing from Injustice 1. And Supergirl gains her lasers. That's basically where she gets her zoning game from, and it is currently extremely strong. She, to me, right now, seems like the most complete like day one, you want to main this character. Like she's like the Kung Lao day one MKX type character, where it doesn't matter where she is, she's truly, truly strong. Or like a day one Aaron Black, you know, something like that. She's extremely strong. I highly recommend her. She seems extremely well thought out, well designed. I couldn't find any problems with her. Great range, good zoning, good rush. I mean, just everything. And it's really early, and you can already feel how powerful that character is going to be. Some other characters, Dexstar is the trait that comes out with Atrocitus. He can create a shield for Atrocitus, which is very interesting because what you can do is you can meter burn roll through your opponent and the shield hits on the other side, and at the same time you can fire a bullet from Atrocitus. So it's like a double cross up. You have to block it right then left. He has a lot of cool mix-ups. Basically, his whole game is kind of, his offense is kind of like Sinestro. When he gets Dexstar out, the offense gets extremely threatening. He has Devorah's low puddle that he has to meter burn to combo after it. He doesn't have any projectiles other than that, the low puddle and Dexstar, but oh yeah, Dexstar has another move. He has Quan Chi's Bat Grab. It doesn't lead to any combos or like a restand or anything like that. It's just basically like an attack, and that's basically it. Now, his back 2-3 currently is a reset off of any aired combo. But remember, in this game, you can always air tech out of a combo, which brings me to one other thing. Ground combos, you cannot air tech. Well, air tech. Ground combos are going to be where they never leave the ground, where you just keep hitting them on the ground, are going to be the strongest in this game because it doesn't allow air tech to exist. Now, that means your combos might be shorter, but that's how you're going to have to get earlier cashed out damage in this game, because as soon as you launch someone, you want to launch them when the damage is already really high, so they don't want to waste a bar to tech it anyway. It's a pretty interesting concept there. Now, Grodd, he's interesting. I don't know much about Grodd from the DC Comics, but I'll say this about him. He's telekinesis. And when he turns his trait on, he is far, far, far greater. He can float, he can fly, he can do like a move where he puts you in some kind of trance and you beat yourself up, you meter burn it, it leads to another combo. He has like a 2-2 grab, kind of like Reptile's 4-2-1 grab that he can meter burn for a launcher combo. He has strings that go into grabs. He's powerful. He seems really well thought out. I think this character is going to be like a Kenshi Grundy mix, if that makes any sense. This character definitely seems very well designed. I'm looking forward to, I might be playing this character. So guys, let me wrap this up with a summary and just how I feel about the game overall. I kind of hinted at it at the beginning, but I feel extremely strong about this game. Now again, if you played Injustice 1, if you liked Injustice 1, if you're comfortable with Injustice 1, this game within 30 minutes of sitting down and playing is going to feel perfect. It's going to feel great. Now, I actually do like the meter burn dash mechanic, because Lex Luthor versus Zod, does anybody really ever want to see that again? Nobody wants to see it. Cabal versus Stryker and MK9, does anybody want to see that again? No, nobody wants to see that again. I know I could pick even worse matchups like Cage and Cabal, the zoning. Nobody wants to see that again. So to give a mechanic like meter burn dash, I'm pretty sure it's not going to end up going full screen, and it's going to actually be an option for a defensive player, such as if you pretend with me the Lex Luthor and Zod matchup. Just pretend Zod baits, he acts like he's going to do another instant air fireball, and Zod meter burn dashes through it, and Zod's like, I didn't shoot a fireball, and he punishes the meter burn dash. So now Lex Luthor spent a bar meter to come near Zod, and Zod's like, yeah, I faked you out with just a standing one, like that's my game, and then just blew him up and then sent him back full screen. So I think this isn't going to be a lose-lose for defensive play or a lose-lose for zoners. I think it's going to make zoning more challenging, but it could be rewarding if you get into the mind of your opponent. You can just bait mistakes and punish the meter burn dashes. Now I hope they're not going to be safe on recovery. They need to be at least -20 to where it's good enough to where you can maybe pressure the zoner after spinning a bar to get in. But if you make the mistake and you made the wrong read, you need to get blown up for it by the defensive player. I love this game. I had the most fun. Derek and Tyler and Ed, all those guys had to kick me out every day because I didn't want to leave. I wanted to continue to play with Maximilian, Unruly, you guys might know him, Kenny. Me, Crazy Bone, Evan, all the ESL guys. It was truly an honor for InterS to allow us to play the game. I greatly appreciate them. This game looks tremendous. It's awesome. it makes me want to play Injustice 1 right now, which is probably what I'm going to start streaming soon. And I might start having some Injustice 1 events, again, just for the upcoming excitement of this game. I'm truly excited about this game. I couldn't speak any higher about this game. I love it. 38 characters is kind of what we're looking at after the DLC comes. So basically, I still have a minor chance that Zod might be in the game. Make sure you follow this channel if you want more information about Mortal Kombat X, Injustice, and NRS games in general, or anything entertainment-wise. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.